ready for this match. We're trading stories about awesome things. The battle is getting ready between the LZ Slayers and Simposaurus Rex. Andre has some cool stories about stuff.
Well, I'll tell you guys. I was in the Indian Ocean, right? This is right after college. I saved up all my money. I didn't go to the senior party thing.
Senior trip?
Yeah, the senior trip, whatever it was. Funny, it was actually back in my hometown that we did the senior trip. I'm from New Jersey. I went to a school called the College of New Jersey. And we all went to the Jersey Shore. That's where I'm from. If you've ever seen the show, that's where I'm from. Yes, okay, I know. Okay, out of the way.
Okay, that one's gone now.
But I saved up all my money. I went over to Malaysia. Really cheap over there. Of course, the plane ride's a little expensive. But I also have all my relatives over there. They let me crash. My one relative has a yacht. Okay, cool. So we went out on the yacht in the Indian Ocean. And I woke up one night and it's just torrential downpour, and it's from the captain. He just wakes me up. He's like, dude, we gotta go. I wake up and then there's just this island, and on the island it's just a giant rigid mountain right next to us, and we drifted because obviously the storm and the currents there are just insane.
Yeah.
So what I had to do was I had to undo the anchor. I lifted it up, and then there's an anchor hatch, and I put the anchor inside the anchor hatch. This is all while it's raining heavily.
Yeah.
So heavily. And then I had to stay in the anchor hatch for a good hour because he had to drive us out of the storm. It was just so terrible. Because how that area works is there's little pockets of islands everywhere. So obviously we can't anchor anywhere because we're just going to drift into one of the islands and crash. So he had to drive us out of there. Meanwhile, my cousins are just completely wasted downstairs. They get up, they wake me up. They're like, hey, sleepyhead, there's a plane that's coming in that's going to land on the water. I was like, I do not want to hear about it. I do not want to see it. Let me just sleep. And I slept through that. Apparently it was really cool. They caught it on camera, but
well, at least they caught it
I
on camera,
saved
so
my
they got to see it
cousins'
later.
lives.
Well,
that's what it came down to. I saved their lives. But it was a great experience. And just awesome. We were just talking about currents before and how fast.
yeah.
You know, some currents can be really fast.
Yeah, it's like there's some crazy riptides down. I used to live in Hilton Head Island, and there's some we'd get an article every year about some tourist who decided to come down, and they got caught out in some place or another on the island with incredible terror. There's always signs around too. It's like, watch out, there's a riptide here. Yeah. Please don't swim here. But someone always swims.
And it's so obvious that there's a riptide. Well, I'm from the shore, so I always know.
When you live there, you see it, and you're like, there's a strong current.
I've been in riptides before.
Yeah.
And this particular current we were near Malaysia, Thailand area. The currents that we had out there, so much faster than the riptides I've ever been in.
All right. I've
Crazy,
I was never stupid enough to go into the strongest current. I'd always put my foot in ways.
I'm not stupid.
Well, I mean,
you're calling me stupid now, Rookhill.
I'm not.
Can you believe this guy? God.
Defensive, Andre.
God, Rookhill.
Thinks I'm implying
not
everything.
Not that stupid to go in the riptides. Well.
What I was getting to is I'm not stupid enough to go all the way into the point where I know exactly how the strongest current feels.
Yeah.
So I only know how that pull kind of feels at your leg.
It's dangerous, guys. If you ever go to the beach, be careful. It's scary sometimes. I almost broke my neck once because I took a wave and it was too close to the shore. And it was too powerful, and I just slammed my neck directly on the sand.
I've kind of done that too.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's done that.
Yeah.
But still, it's dangerous.
And then also I've cut my feet up on oysters before.
Oh,
I was like, I'm going to go swimming without shoes on in this completely oyster area. Didn't know. Got low tide. Water's out. I have to walk all the way across oysters in order to get out, and it's all soft sand and everything too.
Well, Rookhill, you could just swim.
But there was no water because the tide went out.
Oh, okay.
So I have to
you
walk.
Could still swim.
Right across oysters. Oh God.
That'd be so sick, man.
That'd be just horrible. Imagine that it's salt water. You got cuts over you. Oh, that stings.
Guys, be careful on the beach. It's very dangerous sometimes. Okay.
Yeah, wear sunblock. Don't eat 30 minutes before going swimming.
Yeah, don't do that. You don't want to cramp up.
Yeah, I mean cramps are horrible.
Be careful of riptides. Go ahead and let the riptide take you out, and then take the waves in. You can swim. Don't try to fight it, because that's probably the worst way to do it. Olympic athletes can't even. Well, some Olympic athletes can't even.
It's very difficult.
Maybe 50 years ago, you could have been like, Olympic athletes can't even fight riptides. Now it's like Michael Phelps. He's like the size of this desk in arm length, and he's like, I'm pretty sure I got it, guys. Don't worry.
He just la 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 right through the riptide.
Yeah, that's so sick. But yeah, be careful. Anyway, guys, our next series for today.
Landing Zone Slayers versus Simposaurus Rex. To remind you guys, getting it together. It looks like we've got
Landing Zone Slayers. Let's get
Landing
it first.
Zone Slayers.
Okay.
Yes.
Landing Zone Slayers were really impressive yesterday. I was thoroughly impressed. Who did they play? They
Wreak Havoc. Yeah,
and they crushed Wreak Havoc. I think it was a score of 3-0.
I'd have to look back. I think it was 3-1 with a draw.
Still, incredible stuff. Simposaurus Rex, though, we've seen them in the finals last season. They played up against the Cazadores B team, was it? And then the Cazadores A team.
Yeah,
they beat the B team, and then they lost against the A team pretty convincingly. But it's important to note that they can play to that level. However, they did play very defensive last time we saw them. Very defensive. They were ultra conservative, didn't want to make any risks, just waited for their opponents, and we saw multiple shootouts with them.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's been a whole season. They've got a whole season. Right. I think they've been through the Open League, and in the Open League, a lot of other solid teams that had gone also for the WGLNA but had dropped out and were unable to get into the majors and such were down in there in Open League. Open League actually had some pretty decent competition up at the top. You had a nice grouping of the top level that was very solid, and A-Large is at the lead of Simposaurus Rex. He is a very passionate leader.
And also you got some really talented players that I remember. Cinnabar, of course. We got Okeano, which is awesome. We got, who else? Worst player, NA?
Yeah, you should recognize him. And Dark Lancer.
Dark Lancer. Did we see Revelator last night?
I recognize all these guys because they're a part of Simp and
well, obviously
they hang around,
very talented. And I'm sure with the added practice that they have now for a whole season of practice, we're going to see a much more diverse Simp. Or Simposaurus Rex, I should say.
Yeah, and actually they are starting to ready up tanks in the training room, seeing some IS-3s, because the first battle is going to be on Himmelsdorf, guys. So we're going to expect a whole season of change. Does that mean we're going to see more West Side? Because we've seen a lot of West Side attacks recently.
I don't know. I've always known Simp, the whole Simp clan, to love the hill. I've always seen all of their tankers do that, whether it be simplistic, simple tankers, or Simp main, including now Simposaurus Rex, I'm sure. So they are a team that really respects the hill, or they are a clan that really respects the hill. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that as well, but we don't really have tanks to justify any hill pushes, and we'll get into that. Let's actually get into game, and we'll talk about the tanks. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Go into game. All right, 2 5100s and 3 IS-3s against 1 5100 and 4 IS-3s. Blue team is going to be Simposaurus Rex. Red team is LZ Slayers. Yes. Now, the reason why I say we're not going to have hill plays because what tank would you put up there? It would be the 5100.
Yeah, and that's not even the optimal tank. With the way the hill plays, you'd want something like a Pershing or T69 with better gun depression. You want gun depression if you're going to play the hill because you can take advantage of that terrain. And it's a waste to use like a 5100 because you just have to pop yourself on the flattest ground so you have the shots that you need. And it looks like actually looking at Simposaurus Rex is going to head to the east, maybe up to the 8 line.
Oh. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. On the north side though, they're all going to the west, and are they preparing some sort of push? I think they might be. A-Large is spotted out here. Tie 2 going to go into the keyhole. See what's going on. What is going on?
Well, that is a nice position. The IS-3 has such a weird shot through that keyhole. I feel there's terrain that'll block you in spots that I'd really prefer to put an IS-3 in, but it's just the height is just so you can shoot over, but you can't shoot like super optimally over. You get blocked a little bit. You can spot down there, but IS-3 has no vision. You're not going to see all the way to the end there very easily.
There's plenty of vision, thank you very much.
It's sufficient?
Sufficient.
Well, what is not sufficient is Joe Hell's camo, as he is spotted out by A-Large moving into Echo 1. He's spotted, that will indicate quite a bit to Simposaurus Rex, but I don't see them moving quite yet off of that. Cinnabar is reverse angling, looking down the banana, and there's a T1, Dark Lancer, going up to the hill. Is there a T1 on the hill?
Lord Riki is the closest one over there. He's looking down Tank Alley as we speak, so nobody's on the hill, as you can see on my screen. Nobody's been spotted over here as well, so I don't think we're going to have too much just yet. Will Cinnabar be bold enough to just gun it down here? They did see IS-3s over on the other side, so I don't know why they're hesitating right now. Why would
yeah.
they be hesitating?
That's the thing I don't understand. Why Simposaurus Rex isn't making any kind of move? They've seen that west side movement. There's indications that LZ Slayers are playing the west. There's pinging going down farther in the back. So I'm wondering if they're going to fall back. I don't understand why. There's so much position to take. Actually, it looks like they're going to set up to deflect any kind of cap pressure. So Okeano and Worst Pair NA are going to be going back towards cap, and that is a pretty solid call as A-Large is taken down in the T1 Cunningham.
Nice.
There will be tanks ready to try and deflect cap pressure by LZ Slayers, but LZ Slayers might not go for it.
Nope, they're not going to. They're just going to back up because they know they've already been spotted. 4 IS-3s kind of tells them, okay, there might be a very, very fast tank alley push. Lord Riki's still looking down there, but nothing is amiss. What do we have for your team? Where's that T1 on the hill? Where has he gone so far?
He's moved up so little. Dark Lancer is up about 50 meters ahead of where he was. He's now in the center of the hill and about Foxtrot 0. Very slowly, he may continue moving up, but I'm feeling like LZ Slayers might do a map switch. If they flip around to the other side of the map, go up the 0 line, take the hill, they could get Dark Lancer down. With that T1 advantage, they could then start making a fight happen somewhere else, while at the same time putting Lord Ricky and Glorio into the cap.
Man, I'm really disappointed. I really thought Simposaurus Rex was going to be a little bit more aggressive than this, but they're just playing super defensive on Tank Alley, which, frankly, to me, it has aggressive options. That's something that I love about it. It does have aggressive options, but they're not using it. In the meantime, as you said, that T1 advantage, Dark Lancer is going to be spotted out here on the top. So
He does.
Lord Riki is
shots fired.
Lord Riki is going to try to meet up with him and get just some back attack.
The Dark Lantern did expose himself for a moment. There was a potential for a shot, but it just kind of hit wall. I would have expected that connection to happen because it didn't. Dark Lancer did not spot anything in return. I'm actually going to take a look at his equipment real quick. Dark Lancer has optics, binocs, and a vent, so he's seeing about as far as he can. Samisa is spotted out. I believe that's by Adeptus Arcanus in the IS-3. Yes, it was.
He's spotted out too.
And he will
So
back
both
off.
of them are.
No trading on for shots. I would have liked to see that. That's something you can go for with that IS-3. Although he is on the low ground, that high ground advantage going to
here we go.
landing zone Slayers.
Lord Riki is going to surprise his opponent pretty soon here. He is doing a reverse angle, or not a reverse angle, just a reverse.
Lord
attack.
Ricky is spotted, and he
Yes.
reverses out. First shot's going out. Dark Lancer down.
Wow.
And no connections.
Not a single one, man. What happened there?
He just didn't settle his shots. It's what happens.
Very unfortunate.
And it looks like, I think Lord Ricky might have knocked out the commander, who is also the gunner, very early on, which hurts his accuracy even more. And he just didn't get shots out there. Didn't get a single solid connection. Very unfortunate. Huge T1 advantage, though, for the landing zone Slayers.
Oh, yeah. They know so much right now. And they're prepping. They're saying, okay, T1, Gloriax, go all the way up the 1 line and just zone for us. Let us know what's going on. And they're going to move their 4 IS-3s and 5100 up very, very quickly directly after that. I would love them to do it up the 2 line rather than the 3 line. 3 line seems a little bit scarier to me.
Yeah, it's so much riskier. You can get yourself in a bad situation by pushing up the 3 line. If you're caught out, you're very exposed, and it's very easy to flank
so
a 3 line.
That's right. From the courtyard, from everywhere. But no, they're going to go up the 3 line. They are bold. Joel, though, is in that 5100. So maybe they can take that keyhole from your ruse clues, of course. But look at that. Revelator is spotted out. That helps so much. I don't know how Revelator was spotted out, but he is.
Adeptus Arcanus somehow spotted him out. I guess they don't have any camo rating on their tanks.
Incredible.
And Adeptus Arcanus will have a shot, and there Avicii takes a huge hit down to 1,071. He puts a shot out, does not connect with Cinnabar, and it looks like they'll take up some positions in the G34 and start heading south through the Hotel 3 line.
Okay. Well, they're starting to converge. Gloriax looking to probably cap pretty soon here. No, he's just going to back up.
Okeano and Worst Pair will square off. Johel taking a hit, but Okeano not taking any damage yet. And he will just sit there being tracked for a moment. 2 5100s are together, but the IS-3s are squaring off elsewhere.
Okay. So kind of still stagnation. Revelator is down to 1,112 damage so far. Nice hit. I don't know if it was connected right there.
Vici gets a free shot on Worst Player, and Worst Player does return fire. Beautiful snapshot, getting 755. And Worst Player follows up, but does not connect. Okeano is fighting with, right now that is Johel, 77. Okeano down to 1135. Johel down to about half hit points here.
Oh, there it is. Adeptus Arcanus will take a big shot over 400 damage. I have to say, I mean, this isn't the way to use your 5100s if you are Simposaurus Rex. Avicii has been playing corner games, and that really disables the true power of the 5100s, right?
Oh, I
you
love
want that
this.
burst.
Here's what's happening. A beautiful flank by the landing zone slayers. Okeano backs off perfectly, but now Revelator may be left out alone. Oh, but no. Landing zone slayers should have pushed forward. They could have taken out Revelator, and with that, gotten a tier 8 advantage. Worst player, NA, is coming back, and he should be reloading for right now.
Uh-oh. Revelator, is he walking into a trap?
He very well could, but he angles himself pretty smartly. And solid connection right there. Not smart enough of a angle, and he takes about a huge IS-3 shell right there.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm really impressed with landing zone slayers. They've done this and pieced this apart really nicely. Now Lord Riki is going to come down from the hill, and he's going to try to get spots and help out the team as best as possible. Gloriax, of course, already went down. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, though. This is plenty of time for landing zone slayers to, achieve victory over here. We'll find out if it actually happens now. A three-pronged attack going in here. Worst player NA is going to be spotted out. Happy Killmore and Joel are right around the corner. They're going to get shots on him, and boom, snapshot, really nice. But Happy Killmore not able to seal the deal. Worst player NA down to 325, and still playing those corner games with the IS-3s. Taito and Samisa still have not taken any damage.
Yeah, worst players in a horrible situation. Revelator, everyone for the side of Simposaurus Rex is hurt just a little bit, but we still got some full health tanks on the side of LZ Slayers. Oh, what a maneuver, those IS-3s.
I know. Oh my goodness.
Beautifully timed.
And it looks like Simposaurus Rex are just backed into a corner, really.
Avicii takes a hit, but does not get to trade back.
That's fine, though. They're two very healthy
Taito comes out and finishes off Revelator. That will be tier 8 advantage going down. But wow, 2 tier 8s are down. It's only a 3v5 now with a huge spread of damage. Okeano moves in on Taito, and Samisa is able to finish him off. Huge IS-3 hits there. Just alpha down in a moment. Adeptus Arcanus tries to come in. He hits Happy Killmore, but these IS-3s are just going to waste Adeptus Arcanus here. 669, 307, and in a moment, he is just completely obliterated.
Cinnabar, the last IS-3 alive, and he's going to go down pretty soon here as shots are being lined up. Happy Killmore succeeds with that. Oh, a missed shot from Cinnabar. So unfortunate. Down to 85 hit points. And there's the cleanup kill. Beautifully done by landing zone slayers. Oh my goodness. I mean, that's picking apart a very defensive Simposaurus Rex and making it work in resounding colors.
Wow, I'm very impressed with that. I did not expect that to go quite as one-sidedly. Simposaurus Rex was in a strong defensive position. I didn't.
Yep.
Just being able to, not being able to deflect that aggression, it shows just a real oversight.
I thought it was very little reaction. I mean, they lost their 2 T1s, and they're still staying in the same position.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a very strong position to be in, but that's against a lot of east side movement. But if you give up west altogether and just say, okay, no big deal, and stay there the whole time, well, of course you're going to be caught out of position. That's what happened. Not only that, just unfortunate, I think, I want to say RNG, too, on that G line. There were a lot of shots that hit for landing zone slayers, and Simposaurus Rex never able to put out damage.
That's what happens, though, when you depend on RNG. Those positions, when you're in hull down against other IS-3s, you're depending a lot on RNG. You can aim for the right positions, but it's really your fault for not trying to make a more concise fight.
Correct. We never saw a position where Simposaurus Rex could win the game. It's only they're waiting for their opponents to make mistakes, and that's not going to win you a series. That's going to do well against lesser players, but landing zone slayers are already discriminating themselves very nicely. I have to keep going over them because they look so good. I'd love to go into just the detailed report and see what they've been doing in their team score. I mean, these IS-3s, my God, just gorgeous to look at right here.
So much damage. And the thing is, the damage spread was great. It was really great damage spread.
Yeah. And if we look, let's just take a look at potential damage received. 2,000, he's still alive. 1,170, 1,470, 390, not that great, and the 5,100 also somehow bouncing a shot. But you see the landing zone slayers are just so impressive here against Simposaurus Rex, who, let's be honest, when you're defensive, you should have the better shots. You should be able to get those connections because you have the zeroed in reticle to begin with.
Yeah, and the 5100s, I felt like putting Okeano and worst player NA, they were paired together as 5100s, and they were looking across, just waiting for almost like it was more than 5 minutes at a time, not getting anything done. Just Simposaurus Rex not being progressive. I think that's
Correct.
going to be a theme throughout this. I don't think they're going to be as active.
Well, this
and
might be a
progressive.
wake-up call, right?
This could be, yeah.
It could be a wake-up call to say, okay, guys, we can't do the same thing like that. We cannot play so defensive. Yes, we're playing comprehensive, or we're trying to play comprehensive. We got into an unlucky situation with losing 2 T1s in the beginning stage, but you have to realize what your opponents are capable of. Once you do that, you can't play the same way and just say, oh, I lost 2 T1s, that's it. And we're going to find that out. Prokhorovka, you know, it's been a lot of West control contention for the majority of the time, and let me tell you, if you're playing defensive on Prokhorovka, you will be punished very hard. It's very easy to lose position and then lose the map after that.
Yeah, very easy. You have to set the tone very early. You have to set that pace, and it depends so much on the tanks. The countdown has begun. Let's get into game number 2 at Landing Zone Slayers versus Simposaurus Rex.
And Simposaurus Rex is sporting 2 T-32s, a Pershing, and 2 1390s. I like it. I like the lineup, honestly. On the other side, we have a T-32, a Pershing, and 3 1390s. Again, a more mobile lineup than their opponents, whereas a Landing Zone, or excuse me, not Landing, Simposaurus Rex is focusing more on that HP, that raw stats, the raw damage that they have with the Pershing. Well, the Pershing and the 2 T-32s.
Yeah, and I'm taking a look at the guns also, these 105s on T-32s. I don't like 105s on T-32s. I want 90 mils on T-32s. You have better damage potential, DPM. You have better accuracy. Your gun lays faster. You have better gold pen on the shells. There's just so much going for a 90 mil. I don't know why T-32 players play the 105. I guess you're going for alpha, but it's not that big a difference.
Go big or go home, Rukil. No, I agree. I mean, especially against 1390s. You kind of hedge that disadvantage or hedge that variance, right? Because if you have a stronger hitting, higher cooldown, you're going to be in the position a lot of times where you miss, and that represents a much larger portion. So, you know, smoothing out that distribution, have less variance, everything's good.
Oh, Avicii taking huge hits. Nice scouting in the beginning. Avicii down to 1308 here with these 1390 scouting tanks out. Okeano pushes up and actually stops out on the top of a hill and puts out a shot, attempting to get something out of it, but does not connect with anything. Tiny health advantage here, going in favor of Simposaurus Rex. Nicely played. Their T-32s are actually going to go to the east side of the middle here. They're in the 5-6 line area. And
that's really surprising.
I believe they're getting spotted right now, but 1390s are going to play slightly to the west. This is, I don't quite agree with this position as much. Revelator will shift over just as we say that, and he might go towards the bull.
Yeah. Very, very strongly over to the west side for the Landing Zone players. Or Landing Zone Slayers, excuse me. I guess it works both ways, right?
That it does.
Tai 2, he's the first one out, but I just don't like how all 5 are really clustered over here in the C1 to E3 box. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to have that little of a position. But I guess they're a little bit scared because Avicii did take damage in that early stage. And do we have the... just a complete spread out. Then.
Yeah, I like the spread as Simposaurus Rex. There's the potential there for a little while that LZ Slayers could have taken the one line. A really strong push with their 1390s could have definitely taken control of the west side of the map and really put Simposaurus Rex in a hard place. Ooh. But solid connections now out of onto Carcajou from Dark Lancer and Revelator, with worst player NA actually getting some nice flanking Pershing shots.
Maybe that's why they're doing it. Look at that. Look where the Pershing got hit. That's right on the mantlet. That's brutal.
Oh man! And there's a small spot on the mantlet that you can pen through.
You can do that because the T-32s are using the larger guns.
No, you can't. There's less penetration on the 105 than next to 90.
You're right.
So it's about 245 pen.
Mistakes were made.
Yeah, it could have been the Pershing worst player NA though, who's using a 90 mil, which has better pen. But but there is a small hole. Like take a look at that Pershing front turret again. Not so close. Just above where it actually shows the penetration marker, there's a gun mantlet, and that's actually a hole in the model. But here's another thing. The game might not actually accurately draw sometimes where the shot actually pens. It draws it for us, but there's a small variance. It might not have actually penned there in game. It's just one of those things that happens. It hits the hitbox, but sometimes it won't display with that. So he could have actually hit slightly north of that, or up.
Regardless, he was hit.
Yes.
There is a rotation happening right now as 1390s are starting to go all the way to the north side, maybe transfer over to the east. I'm not sure Lord Riki is making that transfer, though, that's for sure. But is this going to be a full-out rotation? They're just worried because they've taken initial damage early on, and they don't want to continue fighting here knowing that they have the HP disadvantage.
Now Avicii has been spotted.
Oh my goodness, and is there a push coming in here? It looks like it. Every single blue tank is splitting up. 1390s, though, are in great position if you are landing zone slayers.
Well, here's the thing. Glorio is actually spotted out. The T1 heat goes down. Huge T1 advantage right there. Lord Ricky, the only T1 left. And the thing is, when they saw Avicii moving out like he was, they knew instantly there is no tank to punish us for moving forward. They have given up this position. We can take it. Simposaurus Rex catching on that very quickly, moving their T32s up. I like it.
I like their play a lot more this time around. They do need to be a little bit quicker to the draw, but still they're playing so more aggressive. They're using their advantages. They're seeing the little things that are happening and going off of that, and that's something great. Cinnabar, though, gets taken out by a 1390 Type 2 all the way on the east side.
Hopefully that should prompt some kind of push or a little bit of aggression out of these T32s, knowing that there's a 1390 somewhere. Cinnabar should know where he was hit from in a T1. That's one thing you got to pay attention to, where you get shot from and how you die. Who was the 1390 actually take him down? I think that was Tai 2. And where's Tai 2 right now?
Tai 2 right now is behind the rock in B5.
Okay, actually that would tell them that the 1390 is still in the west side of the map, so probably a push might not work so well. Now Okeano might be doing that. Adeptus Arcanus in the T1 is doing a great job moving up, and we've got Okeano covering him. So one-line control might go in favor of Simposaurus Rex. It depends on how far Adeptus Arcanus gets. If he gets into the backfield, he could hide in a bush and start spotting these T32s permanently.
No, I think that's going to be shut down pretty soon here, since Happy Kilmore is all the way over there.
Well, then we could see damage on Happy Kilmore.
Yeah, maybe. Avicii took a little bit of damage there in the front. T32, of course, right in the front line. Worst player NA does take a shot, but we'll find out. Happy Kilmore, I mean, okay, it's over.
It's over? When he fires,
Goodbye.
Does he fire?
He's not going to fire. Maybe Carcajou does.
Oh, yeah, Carcajou does. Very smart by Carcajou. Carcajou may take damage. Happy Kilmore, very smart to actually hold his shots. Just super important.
He takes a lot of damage. 471 now, double tap.
And actually, Okeano, did Okeano just go over? Yeah, Okeano has gone completely over. He's engaging on Carcajou, tracked in the open. A-Large is also moving down the one line, and there goes Carcajou instantly. Samisa is spotted, and he has given up the T, but then there goes Okeano. Happy Kilmore is now spotted as well. A-Large has noticed the position he's in, and he wants to get out very quickly. He is not going to stop to shoot at anyone. Worst player NA, 588 hit points. These T32s looking to get shots. Happy Kilmore taken down to 870.
And things aren't looking good for landing zone slayers. Avicii is still trying to face off against the T32s and the Pershing, but things are so difficult. I mean, that trade, it's a 1390 for a Pershing. You might say on paper, you know, it's better for the 1390 to lose at 1390 than it is a Pershing, but that represents a lot of the mobility of the team. A-Large is still very healthy, but still you're up against 3 1390s. That's an incredible amount of mobility. That's an incredible amount of kiting that is possible, so you still have to be careful. It's not like there's a decisive win for one team or the other.
I'm really not liking what I'm seeing actually out of Simposaurus Rex now. They had this cool advantage, but they
gave it up.
They gave up. They just stopped the one-line push, and they pulled out after losing a tank. I don't know what they were doing with Okeano, though. Pushing Okeano like they did, just right up and over.
Way too bold.
Yeah, just too aggressive. You can't do that kind of stuff. It's just too much damage taken. Oh, A-Large doing a nice job of putting some damage on Avicii. He also spots Samisa at the same exact moment. Shots may go out on Samisa. Avicii taking another hit.
One more shot, and he's down. Is it going to happen? Yes, it is. A-Large cleaning that up. No further help for that. So 2 tier 8s are down. It's 3-4. But worst player NA is pretty low here, and against 3 1390s, how are you going to catch them in 2 minutes when you have 2 T32s and a Pershing?
Ooh, and with just the great camo of these 1390s, no one's getting spotted while Revelator is taking damage. He takes a huge hit, going down to 865 hit points now, and as he just tries to go over, Blue Base is being captured. A-Large is going to have to return.
This is perfect, because as you said, A-Large has to return. There could be a brawl here, and the T32s, they need to maybe return as well. That adds more time, more time to the clock where you have to eliminate your opponents. And let me tell you, it's not going to happen in 1 minute and 38 seconds. Right now, I feel like it's going to be a landing zone slayers win. Yes, I said that, a win, or it's going to be a draw. But I don't think that Simposaurus Rex can win.
Well, A large does not return, and instead a Pershing will, but he's going to be caught by Samisa, and Samisa will zero the shot. First shot does not connect on Samisa. Second shot, will it connect on Worst Player? Worst Player is hit from somewhere else. It is tracking.
Revelator. Oh, one shot away from dying here, and down he will go. Look at that. A large needs to get back. This is not going to work out. They have no T1.
8 seconds left as Blue Base is under attack. Two tanks are now on.
That is incredible.
Landing Zone Slayers are going to take this one.
Mobility, mobility, mobility. That's what it comes down to. Landing Zone Slayers understands the advantages, the disadvantages. A large was the only 1390 alive. They needed the other 1390, and he just wasn't there. 1390s are your utility tanks. They get good crossfire. They're never initiating fights. When you have two T-32s and a Pershing, they're the ones to really muscle down on your opponents, especially with such a flimsy, I shouldn't say flimsy, but with such a, well, I will say it, a flimsy lineup. 3 1390s, that's a lot of HP that you're missing as opposed to having two T-32s and a Pershing. And I just didn't like that trade overall.
Yeah, I feel like the end game move by Simposaurus Rex, they could have defended and they could have just gone for a draw or at least salvaged the battle, but they didn't think that their cap was important enough, and they ignored it, completely ignoring the cap. Huge mistake, sending a very damaged Pershing, assuming that there was a T1 there. But guess what? Samisa. I love the position of Samisa. He knew a Pershing was coming back, or he knew a tank was coming back, and he knew he could do something about that. Actually, the time that it took Samisa to come back, there was actually spotting in the north, so they knew the two T-32s and 1390 were there. Samisa was perfectly ready for that Pershing.
And also I want to talk about timing too, because I think that, okay, we talked about the Pershing and the 1390 trade. I think it's good if it happens in the very beginning, because then you have a lot of time for your muscling, your T-32s and your own Pershing to muscle your way over across the map and really force your opponent's hands. But when you're doing it at the very end, you basically give yourself no option to win the game, because you have to either chase down your opponents or you need to cap. Are you going to cap on Prokhorovka? Probably not.
Now,
I say that, but the mobile team was able to cap, and that's what it comes down to. The mobile team will be the ones able to cap. The slow teams cannot. That's why T-32s very limited, because even if you do win the main engagement, how can you chase down everybody else?
Exactly. Our next map will be on Ensk. Mobility won't be as key, but we will maybe see one 1390, maybe an Object 416. Yeah. Some mobility is important, but on this map, it's going to be all about the way they brawl it out. They should at least brawl it out. How you start that fight to your advantage.
And we did kind of see the style choices of Simposaurus Rex affecting them. As you said, the one line, they could have gunned down the one line so easily, but they gave that up, favoring a more conservative approach, right? They were saying, well, yes, we could go down the one line. It's still a little bit risky. Let's not go down there unless we're absolutely sure and just take our win from here, or take our wins and losses from here. And I feel like this conservative approach is coming to affect them. They're just a little bit too conservative. They have great tankers. They have good styles. They have good strategies in the beginning stages. It's just something's falling apart at the mid-game stage.
Exactly. Just it's just being passive and being afraid to take hits and being afraid to trade. You have to actually have people on your team who are willing to just go in, take the hits.
That's right.
And just take the damage. You have to. You can't enter an engagement and not expect to take hit points. You can try to play this little skirmish game right at the beginning and get a hit point lead or something, but you can't do that all game. It's really hard to win a game just doing that. You have to start an actual brawl sometime. Yes. And the opportunity to start a brawl is right here in it. There's so many opportunities to do that. You have to scout out early, then bring it up with a brawl, maybe skirmish for maybe a minute, but no longer than a minute. Yeah. And after that, you should have your advantage known.
But talking about Landing Zone Slayers, I mean, they've really, really impressed me these past 2 days. They were also a team that made it pretty far last season in the qualifiers, but they weren't able to close it out. We're going to find out if they can close it out here, though. 3-0. Let's jump into game as battle number 3 has commenced. 2 5100s and 3 IS-3s on the side of Simposaurus Rex. 1 5100 and 4 IS-3s, the same lineup that we saw on Himmelsdorf from Landing Zone Slayers.
Yeah, I'm also noting the modules and stuff. Only Revelator in the IS-3 has the wet ammo rack. just pointing that one out. You got to look at that. Look at Revelator. I'm expecting him to miss more shots, less accuracy. His gun won't settle as quickly as the other IS-3s, so he's not going to make as many snapshots as other IS-3s, but he's going to have a stronger ammo rack, and that will affect IS-3s. It's a huge point to think about, and players who are new to the IS-3 don't quite realize how sensitive that module is.
It is. You have to be so careful with how you're driving, how you're positioning your tank. Right now, just looking at the aggressive stance that landing zone players are taking. Look at this. They're all the way up, moving into like D3, even E3 now. They're in the north block, and they are just playing very defensive. So far, is anybody on that 6th line? It looks like no, just T1s are going over to the east side.
It's a solid opening.
Yeah.
Really solid opening out of LZ Slayers.
What do we see? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it takes a nice bit of control, but on the south, you have something in the style of actually Fulcrum Gaming a little bit. Huge misses on Dark Lance 17-1.
Wow, he should have been dead. He was in the direct crosshairs of an IS-3. Avicii going to come up here and try to get that shot. I don't think he can actually get that. Oh, shots are going to go off, though. Joel takes a big shot.
Yeah, that is Tanks right in the middle. Oh, Revelator. Yeah, he's the one I believe who put it out on Joel, but now you got Cinnabar, Worst Player, and Okeano all moving up the 5-6 line. They are going to move towards their enemy's cap, it looks like. Cinnabar breaking off, taking a little bit of a left.
Cinnabar.
He will find Glorio, but he is spotted in return, and he breaks the wall. He will find Joel. Shots fired. 606 hit points for Joel.
Nice. And this is what we were looking for. Now A-Large is going to start the cap, and they realize what they're up against. Samisa is over here trying to put shots out. Joel, again, going to be prioritized. Wow, this is some great tanking so far coming out of our Simposaurus Rex team. Joel just one shot away from dying. Down he will go. Wow, I don't know why he poked out like that, but now it's just 4 IS-3s left alone. Cinnabar now going to be targeted down. In these IS-3s, though, it takes quite a long time. The 5100s are in such good position. Avicii, oh no, Happy Kilmore is blocking an Avicii shot. And this is the kind of the problems of the IS-3s a lot of times. You can't always get those perfect shots. In the meantime, Okeano down to 390 hit points. He's just one good roll away from dying.
But Air News takes down Tai2 as there goes our 5100 Okeano, and now it is a 3v2 tier 8's Air News going all the way in Revelator, trying to find his way into the fight. Worst Player, NA, is reloading, and he has left the fight. Air News down to 1064. Revelator looks through the keyhole at Samisa, and he does line up a shot. No, he does not.
Can't get it.
Can't get the shot, and Air News is forced to try and back off, but now it's a 2v1 down to 299. He blows the shot. Avicii will get the finisher.
Oh my god, and look at that. Samisa is the one to take the damage too. Not the best tank to take it. Blue base under attack. That can complicate things. There is one T1 over there, but he is going to get 2v1'd, of course. Avicii and Samisa trying to take out Worst Player. He's down to one shot away. Big shot onto Samisa, though. Is it going to happen? Samisa is nicely blocking, but he's only 2 shots away from dying as well. Down he goes. Avicii has to kill 2 tier 8 tanks or buy enough time. It's 30 seconds left. Worst Player NA needs to get back there, or the IS-3.
And he's heading back now, but Avicii is on 423. He's got half the hit points of Revelator. He reverse angles for the shot, and he will go for it. He does connect now. Avicii down to 29 hit points. It's actually a one-shot or a one-shot if it doesn't matter.
High roll.
A high roll.
He needs a
actually,
high roll.
Even a low, yeah, a high roll will get it.
He needs a high roll, and he doesn't get it. Oh man, that was so close. If that was a high roll,
but 3, 2, 1.
Oh!
Worst Player does get the reset. There it is. 24
wow.
seconds left now.
So sick.
It's over. I don't know why Worst Player isn't going for Lord Ricky. Lord Ricky is the last tank.
He's clipping. Clearly.
He's clipping?
Yeah, he's clipping.
Why isn't it Ramo? He's got 158 hit points.
True. Sometimes you just want to slow down.
I guess, yeah, that's kind of cruel. They're going to take this moment probably just to think about their next map, what they're going to do.
Sure.
You can actually take this time and do that. Or just farm his
they're not
cap
pick
points.
the map.
Well, the thing is, what's the next? There are a few maps left. We've got Himmelsdorf now. We've gone to Ensk, Prohorovka. They're thinking about, well, what's going to be the next one? Maybe they're strategizing because the time limit between maps is pretty short. Final shot will come in. There's Revelator getting the kill.
All right, there you have it. Simposaurus Rex breathing some life back into the series. They're still down, but it's only by a score of 2-1. Very manageable. Things are looking a little bit better. I have to say, that was some crazy tanking going in. It kind of swayed. Simposaurus Rex had great shots on Joel, and I feel like if Joel was able to stay alive, that battle would have been much, much more different. But they snaked shots so many times, took out the 5100 in the beginning stages. Awesome. That is such a big a luxury to have going into a fight. 4 IS-3s, more than manageable. It still got a little close because Landing Zone Slayers have been playing out of their minds. But I feel like if Joel just hesitated a little bit, and normally I don't say hesitate at all, but just wait. Let the IS-3s brawl. You poke out, get your shots out, make them count, then die. It's okay as long as you get your 6 shots out. But if we look, I'm going to look how many shots he actually put out. I don't think it was very many. 2 shots, and of the 2, only one of them actually hit. It was 252 damage, a very, very big low roll.
Yeah, just under average. 5100 rolls for 300 on average.
That's
and
a lot lower than.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's but not as significant as a low roll out of a average roll really out of that IS-3. If he high rolled enough, he could have actually gotten that crucial kill.
422. That's how many hit points you need to take out. You average 390. You can go up to 488. So there's a lot of room for you to really work with. It's a good, I would say 30% chance of actually hitting that, especially with the new damage.
Well, new accuracy gives you, but new damage is just, it's still on the same scale.
No, it's normalized more.
It's normalized more?
Yeah.
I missed out on that.
It definitely is. I've just seen it.
I thought that was accuracy, not damage.
I could swear that damage is normalized more. And the reason why I say that is because I used to hit a lot more 48s. This is all experimental for me.
Yeah.
I used to hit a lot higher a lot more 48s.
You have played a lot of IS-3.
You've seen, and I never seem to hit 48s anymore. And I really feel like that's been normalized. I don't know if that's an official change. It's just my experience.
Or just maybe because you have more and more battles, so you're starting to see that even out.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Like, well, if RG is the same, and then what happens
Correct.
is you see a bunch of 48s just randomly because you rolled that just randomly.
But I always remember if they're 48s or not. I haven't hit a 48 in a long time.
Interesting. Well, battle number 4 is about to begin. We're going into Ruinberg. Let's take a look at these tanks.
It is 2 5100s, 2 IS-3s, and a 1390 for Simposaurus Rex. For Landing Zone Slayers, we got
the
IS-15.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. IS-15.
Beautiful.
I would put money on the fact that they are going to West Side. Let me just say that. You know what? I don't blame them. I mean, they basically 4v5, almost 4v5'd. 4v5'd the Simposaurus Rex team. If they just had another IS-3, well, that solves everything. That's Soviet logic right there.
It's the
That's
alpha.
Soviet Greytorp logic right there.
So much alpha right here. They can nuke so much. They can easily nuke a tank. If they don't nuke a tank in the first opening volley, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Think about it. They were on the drawing board. They're like, what went wrong that last game? The 5100. Of course, the 5100.
This makes so much sense. Let's just drop
it. Instead of
it.
doing 4 IS-3s and a 5100, let's do 5 IS-3s.
What could possibly go wrong? It's only things that can go right. Everyone, we're all good with the IS-3, right?
No, there is a obvious problem with going 5 IS-3s, and that is the fact that the seconds that they're not shooting, they're getting bursted down by 5100s. Realistically, they want to be seeing a tank isolated or 2 tanks isolated, and then they go over everybody else. Or they want to see a 5100 first.
The Simposaurus Rex predicted this aggression perfectly. They've got IS-3s completely ready. The 5100s are completely ready for this. 1390 is going around all the way to the back. Okeano will join the fight in maybe 30 seconds. But now opening shots from Revelator and Cinnabar have connected. Joel's taken way down to 818. Avicii trying to get in front, but Joel's down to 567.
But they're going for the cap. This is crazy. Their T1s are in position. Well, their T1s are dead.
Lord Ricky is dead. And now Okeano is in the backfield. He's going to get perfect rear shots. He's going to focus on Joel. First 86 hit points. And actually, Samisa will block and take a hit. Now Okeano will actually miss onto Okeano. Johel and Avicii have gone down. Dark Lancer, the T1, has gone down in the south. And now it's a 3 tier 8s left versus all 5. Cinnabar is very low, so is Revelator in the IS-3, and they will actually push around onto Revelator. There he goes.
Should have done this a lot earlier after seeing the 1390 rear up the end. I mean, staying there would have just, it does nothing. But
that reload,
Cinnabar, he's going to be taken out pretty soon here. Okeano, wow.
Just going all the way. He's on the reload right now.
Did he do that from ramming? Or did he get shot?
He just got shot.
Okay. I was like, geez, that escalated quickly.
Down to 315. He will go down. Wow, this goes back into the favor, in a sense, to LZ
Yeah, because worst player NA, is he reloaded?
He's now reloaded. He put shots into Samisa, but Happy Killmore comes to block. Wonderful.
blocking right here. And worst player NA is going to be taken out too.
But so does Samisa get taken out. Now it is a 2v2. Worst player is reloading. Happy Kilmore is at full health. He will zero his shot, take it out. But now Air News is the only tier 8 left. And Taitu is on some wonderful cover. Happy Kilmore needs to close the distance as there's a shot on Taitu down to 225. Happy Taitu go forward, forward, forward. And he is almost, yes, he is forward. But a missed shot for Air News.
And Taitu's going to get that shot. Is he going to get the shot?
He might.
Yes, he does. And that's going to... Oh, my God. Air News misses again. No. How terrible.
But finally, he does connect. But Happy Kilmore's at full health. Air News cannot kill him now. And there it goes. Happy Kilmore gets it. That is a victory to the LZ Slayers.
I cannot believe what we just saw. LZ Slayers are such great tankers. How did they just do that? A 3v4. And they somehow managed to come back into that IS-3s. Are they OP? Are they OP? Tell me!
Nah, maybe not really. It's just better brawling, really. I think that's what we got to look at this post games. I want to see where the bounces happen. I want to see where the misses happen.
I need to call Soviet right now. They're like, yo, Soviet, did you just see that? Yeah, IS-15, pretty good lineup.
Pretty good lineup. Seriously, this is entirely a brawl.
Yes.
This entire fight was a brawl. There's almost no point at which anyone was sniping at each other. There was a little bit at the beginning, but I'm looking at bounces, I'm looking at misses right now because that is just what discriminates these two teams on the level of skill. We've got Air News taking 12 shots, missing 2 of them, and 1 of them bounces. Got on the other side, actually 10 for 10 hits, but a bounce, 2 bounces for worst player NA on these IS-3s.
No, don't just look at that. Go back to worst player NA. Yeah. Look at the amount of damage. That's 5 shots penning. So he's, out of those 3, the 8 penetrating shots, 3 of them hit track.
And just did nothing.
Did nothing. Fizzled. Done. And those are APCR rounds.
Yeah.
They don't fizzle.
IS-3, man, those crazy bounces you get on them sometimes.
Seriously.
Okay, moving on to Okeano. Okeano did a good job, but 1 of them did not pen, and it was a bounce.
Still pretty good, but you need to make all your shots because you are.
And he got completely wasted on his reload. He came in during reload to try and distract.
I don't know why he did that.
It's because his other allies were going to be hunted down. Worst player NA was still on reload for a little while.
By IS-3s.
Yeah, it happens. But going back down the line, 3 for 3 on the IS-3, Cinnabar and Revelator, it's a fantastic job to get them out of the fight early. If they'd gone for those 5100s, they might have been distracted long enough that the IS-3s were going to get the shots. Moving on to the other side, we got 8 for 8 for Taitu. We've got 9-8 for 7 there. Shots fired, pretty decent for Happy Kilmore. But Samisa gets beaten out pretty early. 4 shots, 3 for 3.
But also, let's talk about that freaking movement. I mean, if we're talking about sharing HP, these IS-3s knew how to do it. Holy moly. Samisa had some clutch saves and also some clutch just movement. Overall, the IS-3 HP sharing was brilliant by Landing Zone Slayers, and I would say this strategy was telecasted to the world. This is what we're doing. You can't play a long game with 5 IS-3s. I mean, that's just the fact of it.
Andre,
you're going to be gunned
there's something
down.
else I didn't talk about.
What?
Johal and IS-3 for the side of Landing
he got
Zone
crushed
Slayers. He got crushed immediately. So it's effectively, really, all he did was take 2,670 potential damage. That's pretty nice for an IS-3 before going down, but he didn't get to put out a single shot of damage.
He was like the 5100 from last game. He was the 5100 from last game.
But the thing is,
in an IS-3,
but only 4 tanks in that group were putting out damage. Think about that. Not even the 5th one got to put out any damage in that fight, and still they won up against a balanced lineup out of Simposaurus Rex. LZ Slayers are going to be going to our quarterfinals or semifinals tomorrow. Just fantastic play. I'm completely surprised. I would have expected so much more out of Simposaurus Rex, but Landing Zone Slayers, you were saying it, playing out of their minds right now.
They are, man.
We're going to head to a quick commercial break before our next match, which is going to be T32 Best Tier 8 2013 versus Victoria's Secret. Don't go anywhere. You're watching WGLNA Qualifiers for Season 3.